One of the other things that you did to stop yourself from getting soft was running the Moab 240.
Yep.
Talk me through that experience.
So I hadn't run a 100-mile race, and I think it was about 6 years. I had, some heart surgeries. I had maybe some questioning in my mind about, I call it part-time savage. I started kind of going through this. I started getting, a little bit injuries, a little bit of this, a little bit, things that back in the day never slowed me down. So when I got my head out of my ass and realized that, hey, we have more left, we can still push harder, we're not there yet. I realized, talking to a guy named Cameron Haynes, who did this race, 240-mile race. And I go, is this the new level? Is this the new push? So when I decided to do that race, it was in the back of my mind like, man, I've really become an expert at running 100-mile races. So for me, this was the new level, the 200+ mile race. And what was so amazing about that, as you probably read in the book, I had a hard time the first time doing it. I came back and did better. But what's amazing about the human mind is that it becomes your new norm. Like to think that I can run 200 miles, 240 miles, and that becomes like running 50. I never thought that was possible. This is why I'm always pushing that limit, because I know that within pushing these limits, there's always more. So I end up doing almost like back-to-back 200-mile runs. When the 200-mile race, 240-mile race was hard at once, it became something that was very easy after I figured it out. So that's why that happened.
Well, you got lost on the first one.
Oh, yeah.
And then you went to bed and woke up halfway through the night and nudged Kish and said, how long have we got left until the end of the race? But because you hadn't completed the official route, you couldn't go across the official finish line. Yeah. So you ring your race pacers, some of whom had gone home. Yep. What do you think? It's so 3 a.m. and you're ringing people saying, that race that we just finished because of health problems, right, can we go back and finish it?
So the crazy thing about that, in that spot, so I got lost the first time. I got seriously sick, was off course. So basically I bed down about 12 hours. Then I got back in the race. So I was still part of the official race now. Okay. So the first time I got lost, I got sick, got lost, got back in the race after 12 hours of being out of the race. So now I get to about 200 and some odd miles and I'm sick as hell. Can't breathe, high altitude pulmonary edema, totally jacked up. And now the doctor tells me, if you get off course now and you go to the doctor, you won't be able to come back and finish the race. So I had to make a call. Like, what? I'm pretty messed up, got off. So this is where you're talking about. I'm literally laying in bed and I'm feeling better. And I thought, honestly, I swear to God, I thought that someone was speaking to me. I thought it was Jennifer. It was like, you're not done yet, motherfucker. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was actually probably my subconscious saying, get your ass back out there. So I wake Jennifer up. I'm like, hey, how much time do we have into the cutoff? I know that I'm already, DNF'd. So no matter what happens here, I'm not going to be an official finisher of this race.
This isn't for glory.
No. This is now for the fact that you can. So either you can sit here and not and think about that for a whole year until you come back here and do this, or you can go out there for yourself and take some kind of pride in knowing that you could and you did. So basically, I wake her up. How much time left? She goes something like, I don't know what it was. What did you say what time was? Like, whatever. And half my crew had left. And there was 2 people there. I woke them up. They were getting ready to get on a plane. I said, look, can you guys help me out? I have 40 miles to go. I'm going to have Jennifer drop me back off at the spot where I left. And I'm going to finish this fucking race. And I couldn't cross the finish line because I wasn't an official finisher. So I ended up finishing on a road by a telephone pole, and that was my official finish. It ended up being like 255 miles. But it's one of the best races of all time because we're going through it fast. But all the fucking times that I was like, I'm not going back. and I went back. I'm not going back, and I went back. I'm not going back, and I went back. It showed me even more of what we have as humans, if we're willing to go there and we're willing to push that extra step. And like I say, I always tell people, a lot of people, man, how do you do what you do? At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step. So if I choose not to, that's on me. And I got to live with that.